Hi, this is Sarah Broniger of the New Horizons Academy. I was recently asked, how do you remedy a child's love of reading? And it's very, very simple. There are mechanics. You have to make sure that they can read and they know phonics. But after the mechanics are done, how do you get them to love reading? There's a balance. There's effort and there's interest. And you have to watch that balance like a hawk. Now, for you, when you go on course and you're studying data that's going to save your life, your interest is here. You're going to do all the work necessary to get that. As a matter of fact, they could make it 5 times harder and you'd still do it. You'd do anything to get that data that's going to save your life. But how the red fern grows never saved anyone's life. Hatchet. These books that kids read in school, the interest is down here. And the work is here. And the less they want to read, the more we think, we'd better really make sure they're getting those words. So the interest is now going up here, and the effort, I should say, is now going up here, and the interest is still down here. And that's backwards. And they will never want to read as long as that interest effort is out of whack. So, when you have a little kid, you're helping them. You're reading with them. They sit on your lap, you run your finger along the page, the effort's way down here, and the interest is, I want to know what happens to the dog. So they'll do it. But if they start falling off that, if they start not reading, a few years down the road, they get to the point where the books they're supposed to read are too hard. So the effort's here and the interest is here. They're interested, but it's too hard. So you say, well, let's go to an earlier gradient. Earlier gradient effort is here, but the interest is there. Now you've got a 16-year-old reading Mac and Tab, and he is not interested, and he won't do it. So, no matter what mechanics you use, watch the interest and effort. If you've got a 16-year-old who's interested in anything, you find anything they're interested in. You grab that interest as your lifeline to get this kid to read. And then you look at, how do I bring the effort down to freaking nothing? Because you're trying to rehabilitate an interest. You don't want to just bring it down a little bit, make it a little easier. You want to bring it down to the bottom of the table. All this interest, no work whatsoever. And the way you can start with that is you get 2 copies of the book, and you give them a copy, and you have a copy. And as a matter of fact, don't even give them a copy at first. You just read it to them. You change all the words, you just read it to them. And they go, I can like books. That's step 1. Can I like a book? That is step 1. Then you give them the other copy and you say, son, you just read along with your finger and I'll tell you any word we come across. Effort's now here. Interest here, effort's here. Oh, I can read along. Good. Then you get to, this is an odd word. Let's look it up together. Then you get to, well, you read it to me for a while. You just inch that effort up. You inch that effort up. And you just keep doing that. And it doesn't matter what he wants to read. If he wants to read horror, vampire books, I don't care if you hate it. You read it with them. And if he is in any way dyslexic, you move your finger across the page and you have him move his finger across the page. You train his eyes to read from left to right. And if that's the only effort he puts in, it's a good effort. And you would think, because the problem is this big, that this will take years to remedy. It won't. It really won't. It'll take months. And one day you'll say, son, let's sit down. We're going to go over this book. And he'll say, oh, Dad, I finished it last week. And you'll have done it. And he'll be a reader. I hope this helps.